Hey, and welcome to Fit with Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. So in this episode, I'm going to answer all your questions about exercises, and got so many questions about exercises, how to optimize muscle building, how to get your child to exercise, and all these questions I'm going through. So this is the easiest way to get answers from exercise, what most common mistakes, what I see. So the first question was that what would be a checklist to optimize muscle growth over 1 to 2 years to put 10 to 15 pounds of muscle? So here is a checklist what you have to, if your goal is to put muscle. So first of all is first step is obviously it's a consistent strength training. So commit to a program that includes compound movements. Compound movements are the most important thing. And they are exercises like squats, deadlifts, bench press, for example. And those you should have basically at least one of those exercises in every workout. Then second part, what is the most important thing is progressive overload. So it means that you are trying to always do something more. So it could be what are obviously to everybody, to adding more weight, adding more reps. But it could be also, for example, having a shorter rest time, what I probably don't recommend, especially if you are lifting heavier, but it could be also improving your form or doing same movement with a bigger range of motion. So for example, for squats, you are going a little bit deeper, and this is something that you kind of do always something more. Then third part is optimal nutrition. So if your goal is to gain muscle mass, you must be at least in a maintenance and ideally in a surplus. So maintenance doesn't mean so what is the difference? Because what I work with so many people who are scared gaining fat. If they have, you are in a situation that you have lost significant amount of weight and fat. And now you know that you have also lost some muscle, and now you are scared that you don't want to gain all lost weight back. So you are scared of increasing your calories and going actually to surplus. And this is the biggest thing why you are not actually seeing results in your workout. But if you get over, what is the difference? Think it what kind of signals you are telling to your body. So what is the difference if you eat in a surplus or you are eating in a deficit? So if you think it like that, if you don't, what is the difference when you are going to, how your body does know that you are going to gain muscle mass or you are going to gain fat? It's that strength training. So when you are sending right signals to your body, and then, because if you want to build muscle, it's a tissue like fat. If you want to get some tissue, you have to eat more. Otherwise, if there is less calories coming in, you are not going to build some tissue. You are not going to gain fat, but you are not going to build some muscle either. So that's why it's so important to trust the process and allow yourself and go at some point with nutrition to surplus, and at least on maintenance level or slightly above, and you will see so much more results in your workouts. Part number 4 is recovery. So this is something what most people underestimate is sleep. It's not some what is then other good way to recover is staying active. So by staying active, I don't mean that you have to work out more, but staying active, like things like walking, doing some body weight exercises. So you are keeping your muscles active. And for example, even if you are experienced weightlifter, you are lifting weights, but if you do just some couple body weight exercises, squats, which are really light, but they are sending the right signals to your body and you are able to recover actually faster. So this is the best way. Like my coach used to tell me like that when I was brutally sore after workout, and he used to say that I said, what can I do against soreness? And the best advice was that it's going away exactly the same way it came. So when you do some kind of exercise, and like I said, it don't have to be hard, but when you do something, it's going to help you to recover faster. Then point number 5, it's not the most important, but it's supplementation. So especially there are basically 2 things what I recommend for workouts. I'm not a big promoter of any supplements, but what I personally use is protein powder and creatine. So those 2 things are going to make difference, especially if you are not taking creatine. That is the best and most researched supplement for workouts to performing your performance. There's all the time new studies coming out which are might be preventing Alzheimer, and there are not only for workouts, but so many other, like it could be that it's helping you to prevent getting cancer. So like so many possible benefits of taking creatine. And it's like I said, it's the most research supplement. It's very inexpensive. So it's not costing a lot. You don't need a lot. Like most companies recommend 5 grams per day. I personally take at this point 3 grams per day. I just had my blood test done and my creatine levels were on higher range, and I'm weighing 90 kilos more or less at the moment. So it's you don't need to take a lot. It's enough to take, I would say, 2 to 5 grams per day, and it's going to be enough. And it gives you basically boost of doing 1 more rep with the same weights. Like I realized it almost immediately that I was so much stronger. And what it's going to cause, you are going to gain a little bit weight, but where is that weight is going? It's holding. The reason why you are gaining a little bit scale weight is that it's holding water in your muscles. So your muscles are kind of looking more rounded. It just looks better, your muscles, when you take creatine. But if your goal is to lose weight or fat, you might see, especially in the beginning, that scale weight is going a little bit up. And then another one is protein. So that obviously the most optimal way is always to take it from your normal nutrition. But if you don't want to eat all the time just protein, it's a lot better to eat it from somewhere else, or taking some shakes. I love to do for my breakfast smoothie. I add some whey protein just without any taste. So it's just a natural just to increase my protein intake. And it's helping you. Obviously, protein is what is building muscle and helping you to build that muscle. So those are supplements, what I recommend for your workouts. Anything else you don't probably need. And those are only ones what is then. Point number 6 is to stay hydrated. So water intake is when your muscles are working the best when you are well hydrated. So then tip number 7 is tracking your progress. So that you know, like this is what I love for example, with my workout app, what I use, I track my every single workout. It's so simple to add just the weight, how much weight you have used. And then when I look now back, 2 years ago, a year ago, when I have done last time that exercise, of course, I can't remember how much weight I used. But then when I look back now, I did my workout yesterday and I was looking a year ago when I did the same exercise last time. And now I was like, I started with that weight what I finished my workout a year ago. And I was like, okay, now this feels like almost warm up. So then over next set, you can add more weight, and it helps you to know what you are doing. And same thing is kind of with nutrition. If you want to optimize everything, you probably want to track your calories so you know that you are actually in a surplus. As it's, if you kind of where we want to be in naturally is that always the maintenance. So it's kind of, especially if you eat in a mostly healthy, it's very hard to be actually in a surplus. And because our bodies, they tend to tell that now when you are in maintenance, that's where you are. But when you are tracking, you know how much calories are going in. So that you can be pretty accurate by tracking. So that is for sure something what I would always recommend. And then last point is to check your progress, like having some check-ins, taking pictures, measurements, and see how things are going. Like not only physical changes, but how you are feeling. Because usually body is very good at telling you what is happening, and when you see that progress is good, it's realistic from pictures, tape measurements, scale weight. Those are all ways how to measure your progress. So those are the best ways how to gain, and it's to gain 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. That's a realistic, very good goal, and I would obviously highly recommend to do. The next question what I had was that how can I train to specifically fix an imbalance in my lower body from a previous injury? So this is something like what I recommend, what I have. I had earlier like a lot weaker left leg than my right side, and there are a couple ways how to actually get back into that where you have been. So first of all, is always to have some kind of consultation. So it could be some expert, your physical therapist, if you go to see somebody, that what is a good way to approach it. Then from exercise part, I always, that is actually the program what I do at the moment, what I have also available for all my members in my coaching and in this challenge, when I create individual workout programs for everybody based on their goals. And this is some program what I actually follow currently myself, and it's basically single joint exercises, so single arm, single leg, and it's kind of same movements. But let's say that if you have a leg, it would be one leg squats, and making sure that you do same amount of repetitions for both sides. Ideally, you are starting always with your weaker side, and if you have like some previous injury, don't try to, because you are probably able to do a lot more using heavier weights on your stronger side, but start with your weaker side and don't do exactly same amount of reps what you're able to do with your weaker, also with your stronger side. And in addition, you could be adding, if there's a big imbalance, you could be adding one more set per workout for your weaker side. So it's getting a little bit more volume, and over time will catch up then with the strength. Then what is really helping is, third tip is to have that kind of mind muscle connection. So focusing on that movement and feeling that weaker leg, what it is doing it. So if you are trying to work, let's say, your left glutes, so think about that muscle, that how you are going to feel it, how you are going to use it, and how you are going to activate it. So this is a simple way how to actually, and there is so many studies that this mind muscle connection, it helps you massively. Then obviously consistency is number 4. So it takes some time, but you gotta be patient. And imbalances, they can take some time to correct. And then last one, just a fair warning to not push too hard. Like because I know that you want to fix these imbalances fast, but if you are overtraining, you are kind of having a risk to re-injury. Then Anna, how to protect your knees when you are overweight and only started exercise after a long break. So for knees, the best way is that avoiding when you are doing, for example, squats. If you are overweight, so you are not going basically with your knees over your toes. So this line that you keep it always straight. And then other ways, what I love always to use, that before you start to working out, do some knee mobility exercises. So it could be simple as knee circles, and just 4 or 5 rounds each direction. So circling, like you could do them like single leg or both legs at the same time, but just have some kind of motion there for your knees. And then if you feel, because it's totally safe, obviously you have to be careful with the weights, but be careful with like the range of motion, especially in the beginning. And then if you don't feel any pain, that is still, everything is okay. But as soon as you start to feel something like some pain, like I had yesterday in my group workout, one woman asked me, because she's hearing some weird noises when she's doing squats, and obviously that is something scary. Like I experienced that too. But when I talk with my physiotherapist, they said, until you don't feel any pain, it's safe to do. Like it could be like, it's kind of, if you think like in a car, you are not a car, but there is something like, it could be a little bit rusty or something. And when you get that movement there, and mobility exercises are the best way to actually to start warm up, and then especially with the range of motion, because for knees, what is helping you if you are doing exercises like squats, your hip mobility and your ankle mobility. Those two things help you to go actually increasing that range of motion. So this was a very, very good question. Next question, what I had, that do you need and how to train, or do you need to strength train, and how to train if you are a runner? So that kind of strength training, it makes such a big difference if you are not doing it. Obviously, if you are a runner, you have to think always, what is your goal? Ultimate goal is to become runner, but you are using also your muscles when you are running. You don't need to your goal is not to build too much muscle mass, but to have stronger. Like if you think like there are 2 types of runners, if you think sprinters and marathon runners, they have both totally different body. And for sprinters, you need that explosive power, which is basically just strength. And runner, you need that endurance. But if you still, when you are running, even if it's a longer distance, you still need your muscles and you need to use them a lot. So what I always recommend, it don't have to be a lot. It could be 1 session per week, and doing that 1 session, training your whole body. And it could be like a little bit higher reps that you are working on more on your endurance. And it helps also to prevent injuries, support your joints, so you are not getting injured when you are running, because that is often what happens, is you have problems, runners have problems with the knees, with something, especially those who don't strength train. Then obviously for runner, having some kind of mobility and flexibility. I would say that mobility is even more important to add in a training program. And for runners, what I recommend, what most people like, if you think how top marathon runners, how they are practicing, they are doing like, most optimal way is probably like doing around 80 to 85% of your total amount of workouts in zone 2. And that zone 2, it's something like, if you have some sport watch, it's something what is relatively easy, and you can do it a lot. Obviously for marathon runners, they might be running so fast and you think that, wow, they are going fast, but it's zone 2 for them. And for example, for me, if I think my own zone 2 practice, even I would say I have pretty good endurance, but for me, zone 2 is rapid walking. If I start to run, I'm already going to zone 3, or if I run, it has to be like really slow, and you don't get that feeling. What most runners, that people, especially what I see often, that they want to get fitter, and then they go for a run. They run 1-2 times in a week for an hour, but it's almost always like too fast. And that makes you that you don't want to do it more. But obviously you get after run, you get that feeling that, wow, I did something. And if you do zone 2, it's like that you are like, after that hour in zone 2, you are like that was that it, and you could be doing a lot more. But that is the key, how to actually train. And then that 10 to the 15 to 20% should be some kind of interval training, like heat training. And what I love, you could be doing interval runs, or you could be using that heat training principle in your workouts, in your strength workouts. So those are just the principles how to actually improve your running performance. And this was now, I have a couple of runners at the moment in my one-on-one coaching, and Ina, I was talking with her just the other day, and she was just saying that when she first started, now it's only after a month doing strength training, including interval trainings, and she felt so much better in her 10K run. And that's why this is just that it feels like that you are almost doing a little bit less than you were doing earlier, and it doesn't feel that hard, but your results are going to be a lot better. So this is the best way how to increase actually your performance, that you are doing the right things and not trying to kind of do just a lot, because then obviously you might get overtrained, and when you do a little bit less, you have time to do something else than trying to do everything and way too much, because obviously the recovery is important, and you need also to have some kind of rest days, and in those rest days, obviously you could be doing, like what I talked earlier, some kind of active recovery, like for example mobility exercises or foam rolling or massage or something like that, what is helping you to recover faster. Obviously, if you have possibility to do that, but for example, mobility exercises are a great way to do. Then next question, what I got was actually very, very good, was what I love to answer is that what are some ways to get your child to exercise? And this is something like, I don't have children, but what I believe that most of the parents, like if I someday I happen, or we are going to get a child in one day, it's something what you want to pass, like that you are, as a parent, you want to pass those from your own example, and to get your child also to do some kind of exercises or activities. And the best ways what I love to use it is to make it somehow fun. So it have to be always some fun. So it could be ours, like there are so many, like what is just, because all children are different. For somebody it could be dancing, somebody it could be boxing or playing some games, football or ice hockey or some other ball games. So it's just that what you naturally enjoy. It's probably the one sport what you probably want to do a little bit more, and then finding some fun ways to be active. And then what is really, really important is that you as a parent are going to be role model. So if I think like all my, like if you are an ex-ice hockey player, and if your child is seeing that, okay, your dad or mom they are going to exercise, even they exercise at home, they see that, wow, this is actually a good thing. It's a normal thing, and they become more interested what it is they might want to try. So it's important to have to be that kind of role model for your children, and showing as an example to how to actually do it. Then what are other ways to get exercise is to have some kind of limiting screen times. So I know that, like I said, I can't say I don't have own experience, but what I see that it's for many parents, what I talk and see, it's obviously it's a lot easier to tell your kids that here is your iPad, phone, just play something, watch something. They will get, time is passing. You don't need to do a lot, but if you could, instead of limiting that screen time, and get them somehow outdoors and play something what they naturally enjoy. So there is not only you get fresh air, you have some activity what keeps you out, and that is one what I always try to encourage and love to see when kids are playing. Like obviously that was something what I did in my childhood, and and we always played hockey outside, like until it was dark or somebody came to tell that now it's time to go to bed. Then other thing is what is important. Like if I think as a child, what was important for me was we have a group of friends. So if you can involve it with somehow with your friends, like that. If you have a possibility to put your child in some kind of group activities or sports, or invite them, or go to play. If there is a possibility to play hockey or soccer or basket or whatever sport it is, but just that if there's always some friends involved, it's more likely that your child is actually going to do it. And then last tip for this, what comes quickly to my mind is to having some kind of routine, that there is specific times for that activity and making it kind of part of your daily life. That it could be meaning that, okay, after school, it's a homework. And then after that, it's either it's organized some practice or something, but it's kind of routine, what is part of that daily routine. Next question, what I had, that is the last question. What I had was that how can I tell if my workout is working for me? So if my workout program is working. So this is a very, very good question, and there is no right and wrong answer or tell that this is it. And if you don't see it, it's obviously not working. But if you can tell at least some of these things that they are working, then there is good chance that it's working. So think first is pretty obvious, is that if you are getting stronger, if you are improving your running time, so are you able to lift heavier weights? Are you able to do something more with same amount of weights, like I talked earlier about progressive overload? Or are you able to run either longer or faster on that same round what you were making? So those are pretty easy to tell. And that obviously, if there is nothing happening, then it's either you are not pushing yourself hard enough, or you have a shitty program, or there is something from nutrition part what is missing. Then physical changes. So if you see some noticeable muscle definition or weight loss. So if you see, and best ways to see that is what I say, that it's pictures and tape measurements. So those are something what is like, obviously you will feel it on your clothes, which is kind of same than those tape measurements, but tape measurements are usually a little bit more accurate, or clothes are a very good way to do it also. But what most people are missing is to take those pictures, because I don't enjoy to be honest, I don't enjoy taking pictures about myself either, because it's just the way that maybe you don't like yourself. Maybe you are a person who doesn't even like to be in the pictures. But this is something like what most of my people who start working with me, they never take pictures in the beginning. And then who knows, maybe after 6 months, maybe after a year, you have lost significant amount of weight, or you have gained a lot of muscle. But whatever your goal was, you have reached your goal, or you are getting closer to it. But you have never took that picture in the beginning, like, because you were just kind of saying to take picture, and then you are regretting it. And it's also helping you to kind of stay motivated, because if there is something like what I see a lot is that especially women are too much focusing on the scale weight. And when you are focusing on the scale weight, and for some reason that scale is not moving, so what you are going to do, you are getting frustrated because you think that it's not working. But if you have pictures, you have some other measurements, you are actually seeing that, wow, this is actually working. There is changing, something is happening. So you keep going, and you don't end up quitting things what were actually working. So then third thing is that or energy levels. So that is the most important, or one of the biggest reasons what I see when people are doing strength training, adding protein, eating in a proper way, like it just simple things. It's kind of circle what is going. Like it could be leading better sleep, better recovery. You have more energy outside of your workout, so you are walking more, and then it's kind of snowball effect. And that is often what happens, is that then people are starting to see amazing results. And then when I asked them that, what did you change? What was the biggest point? And then they're like, actually, I didn't change. It didn't, just the little things, but it didn't feel like so much. And now, wow, this happened. I got that amazing, lost 10 kilos or something. But this is all these small basic things. If you do them on a regular basis and consistently, they are leading that you have that more energy. They are leading that you might move outside of your workouts more. You might be sleeping better. You have less cravings. You add protein. It's suppressing your hunger. So it's all kind of that circle, what is affecting to everything. And that is just the one way to know that your energy levels are better. So your workouts are definitely working. Then number 4, how to know it's that your mood is better. So you are improving your mood, and because that exercise, it can boost those hormones like endorphins, and it's just that you are happier because it's exercise, how it's working, like you get that dopamine, because we needed something what we all need to be happier, and exercise is one way to get it. It's obviously, it needs some work, and for many people they use food, because you get that same dopamine. What makes you feel happier is you get it also from food. And it's not, don't take me wrong, it's not, you don't get dopamine spikes from eating salad. It's those high calorie foods what you probably know that you should not be eating so much, but when you do, you are getting that kind of, you feel that immediate satisfaction and you are feeling good about it. But then in a long term, you know that it's doing actually more harm than good. Even you get that short term success, and your mood is kind of better, but in the long term, you do more harm. Then it's that consistent progress is number 5. So you can, and it's not only those improvements, what is like a physical, but mental improvements. So when you are writing down how you are feeling, how you are, what kind of behaviors you had, and what is your thinking process. So having some kind of diary, how you are feeling, not only workouts, obviously workouts are helping out. Also, if you track them, you see that if you have actually made progress. And then if not, what could be kind of going back and analyzing that. Why is that? First question is always, have I been consistent enough? Have I been pushing myself hard enough with my workouts? Am I following a proper program? How is my nutrition? So if there is something, what is, or how is recovery? You will always find, and it's not those could be, the hardest part is to recognize it by yourself. It's kind of like, if I would have a spinach between my teeth, like, it's there, but I wouldn't see it. I would not see it. There are a couple of ways how I could see it. If my friend is telling me, like, hey, Tura, you have something there between your teeth, or if I would go to mirror, and it's kind of same thing with that self-sabotage or not knowing what is going on and what feels frustrating, because either you have somebody who knows what could be going on, like some kind of coach, or you have some tools to have a checklist what could be going on, because we are so used to have those all habits, what we have done always. And when things are not going in a way like we want, it's easy to blame something else and going like that, this is, it's because of hormones. It's because of whatever reason. Those reasons you will always find. But this is when you have kind of journal and having your tools, how to actually do it. And then what is the last thing? But probably the most important is to learning to listen to your body. And this is like always that your body is trying to tell you, and your body is very good at telling you what is going on. If your head is allowing to listen to your body. So if you are consistently sore, if you are consistently fatigued, or you are not seeing results, it might be time to adjust something. And it could be either reducing exercise, or adding exercise, or changing your program. But obviously, and it works on other way, like if you are consistently hurt, your program is probably not the best one, or you should be doing things a little bit differently. And I'm a big fan. Like now, when I was younger, I didn't even know what is mobility exercises. And now when I do them basically daily, just a couple of minutes per day or part of my warm up, those have helped me to stay injury free. And it's the same thing what I do for all my clients, that especially older ones, like starting from 30, 35, especially if I'm over 40, and you are not recovering as you were in your 20s. And that is the biggest realization, that you gotta work more on that kind of preventing those injuries. And if you are all the time injured, it probably in your program is missing something, or you are kind of trying to push yourself too hard. And this is what you should be listening. And also, obviously, if you never work out, or you work out too less, then you start to get those pains and knees and back hurting, lower back, just sitting all the time. And usually when you are just doing some form of strength training, that is going to help you to prevent those injuries, so you stay pain-free, you can live life with full energy. And that is just advantages, and how your body is trying to tell. Obviously, our mind is trying to tell almost always the opposite, that no, now I don't have time, everything is going good, I have always done this in this way. And those are the hardest realizations, to understand that now it might be time to adjust something. So this was episode for today, but like I said, I have a couple more days starting new challenge. And if you have any questions, email me Turo@fitmeturo.com. And if you know someone who this episode would help, I would appreciate sharing this with your friend. And thank you for listening. Talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast.